5, the House Intelligence Committee released thousands of social media ads that they say were paid for by Russia. These ads showed up on Facebook between 2015 and 2017, all aimed at influencing the 2016 election.
Yeah, but what do those ads actually look like and who saw them? Team 12's William Pitts is here with an in-depth look at some of them.
These are some of the thousands of social media ads released, all from a group called the Internet Research Agency, basically paid for by Russia. Now take a look. They're supposed to exploit the divisions that are already in America. Take this one from a group called Being Patriotic. No, that group doesn't actually exist. It shows a group of inmates. This ad calls them Obama voters and basically says they're about to be released, 6,000 of them. It's one of thousands of ads that were allegedly targeted to exploit people's fears and racial divisions. Take this one. Blacktivists, again, not a real group, paid for by the Internet Research Agency. This one was targeted to specific people. This information shows you exactly where this advertisement popped up. Specifically, it showed up in Baltimore and Ferguson. Remember those demonstrations that happened there. Here's another one from a Born Liberal. This shows that Russia wasn't just interested in targeting one specific group of people. They were interested in targeting everyone. It's a picture of a sign saying, "I don't mind being rich, I mind you buying my government." This one, of course, obviously targeted toward liberal voters. Here's another one. When you see Obama leaving the White House in 2017. Now, this picture in itself doesn't mean a whole lot, but if you look at what's actually written here, how many times black people are going to be fooled into thinking that voting will make a true change in this country? Basically, what that's saying is voter suppression, and it's targeted to people with these interests: Martin Luther King Jr., African American culture, Malcolm X, Black consciousness movement. All of these specifically targeted to exploit our divides.
Officials say this whole operation only cost about $100 grand. Facebook rolled out a video and statement today saying they're now making people verify their identity when they buy ads and publicly reveal who they are. But then again, Facebook had also repeatedly denied Russia had anything to do with the ads until they identified 470 accounts linked to Russia. William Pitts, 12 News.